What's going on, everyone? So, one of the big surprises this trade deadline was not so much Spencer Dinwiddie getting traded. That was actually kind of expected, but him going to the Toronto Raptors and then ending up getting waived. And now that he's a free agent, he is one of the more sought after buyout free agents that's on the market. I mean, you're talking about a versatile, sizable guard that can play both sides of the basketball. He's a guy that can run the point guard duties, play off ball as a two guard. He's got good size, 6'5, 6'6. He's a guy that can really be an impact player on many teams, right? You're talking about a real starting level talent. Right? Most guys that are bought out, most guys that are waived are usually older veterans that are, maybe rotation guys, but they're usually like, you want as like your seventh or eighth guy, or you're kind of just filling in a veteran role for like a shooter or something. Or it's like one of those young guys that just hasn't panned out, and maybe you go get a change of scenery and that player can maybe be a piece that you can grow with your franchise. Think of a guy like a Killian Hayes that's available right now, right? Spencer Dinwiddie is a 30-year-old veteran that has had some incredible seasons and is actually coming off of not this season. He's actually been pretty bad for the Brooklyn Nets this past season, but a lot of that was he was just burnt. He was done. He knew that they didn't want him. He didn't want to be there. But if you look at the previous year with Dallas, he was actually very good with the Dallas Mavericks. And he's a guy that on a vet minimum is a real steal. I mean, you're talking such low risk, high reward at that point, that this is a guy that many teams were looking to trade for. And now you have teams that it looks like it's boiled down to the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers as the two teams that are most likely to sign Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, yesterday, we saw Spencer Dinwiddie sitting with Rob Pelinka, having conversations, going to the back of the locker room, meeting with the guys, all of that stuff. And it really started to spark this firestorm, right? This whirlwind of like, Spencer Dinwiddie, he's going to Lakers, he's signing with the Lakers, and it's a real possibility, right? Spencer Dinwiddie could sign today. He, at the time of making this video, we just have the rumors and speculations. Depending on when you're watching this video, he may have already signed, right? He may already be a Laker. Now, there's no guarantee. He still very well could go sign elsewhere. Nobody is a Laker until they're actually a Laker, and it's official and it's done, signed, sealed, delivered. But this was a great sign. One of the things that a lot of people were pointing out, not with him in LA, but the previous night where he was sitting behind the Mavericks bench, and it was the Mavericks game against the New York Knicks. Now, a lot of people pointed that out to me, and I was relaying, like, it's not really that surprising to me, right? Like, obviously, the rumors of him maybe returning to Dallas because he had one of his better seasons with the Dallas Mavericks. He fits, he makes sense. But it wasn't a shocker because he wasn't in Dallas, right? It's one thing if he had like flown to Dallas and was hanging out and all that, then it's kind of like, oh, right? Like, timeout, maybe he is going to the Mavs. But him already being in New York, getting traded by the Brooklyn Nets, but he never actually had to leave Brooklyn because they ended up waiving him and buying him out immediately. So he's never going to go to Toronto. So him basically just going a couple miles down the road to go catch a Mavs game and a Knicks game is not really that like shocking. But him flying to Los Angeles with his agent to sit down with Lakers brass and talk and just say, hey, like, what's the deal? I just think is huge, right? That to me is a very good sign. One of the big things that I talked about, and one of the reasons why I believe he signs with the Lakers over Dallas, is because if he goes to Dallas, he's not going to start, right? But with the Lakers, I actually believe he can and very likely will start. Because you can move Austin Reeves to the bench, and I would personally do this. Start D'Lo, start Dinwiddie, gives you that athletic guard. He's not like a hyper athlete or anything like that, but he's more athletic than Reeves and D'Lo, and gives you just an athletic guard that can hit shots, create for himself, create for others. It just makes the most sense. But to even further light the fire of Spencer Dinwiddie going to the Lakers, because again, it's not for sure, but we may have just gotten confirmation thanks to D'Angelo Russell. So here is what D'Angelo Russell had to say, and then we'll talk about it.
I'm a fan, but y'all get to know him soon. We'll let y'all dig into that and give y'all new titles.
So there you have it from D'Lo's mouth. D'Lo says you're about to find out real soon, right? Again, he could just be messing with the media, but I'm pretty confident he knows. Him and D'Lo and Spencer Dinwiddie have a relationship. They played together with the Brooklyn Nets. They played side by side. They were teammates. So he has relationships with him. He has a relationship with Rui Hachimura. He has a relationship with Taurean Prince. So there's several guys on this Lakers roster that he actually has relationships with. On top of that, he grew up in LA. He's a Laker fan, Kobe fan, diehard Kobe fan. He always wanted to play for the Lakers. Well, guess what? Here's your chance. Here's your opportunity. And I just, again, the biggest factor is I just think he has the potential to start and play significant minutes because the Lakers desperately need somebody like a Spencer Dinwiddie. And him signing would be massive. Obviously, the Lakers didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. Now, Rob Pelinka said that there was nothing there. I believe him, right? If I just don't see, he was so active in trying to find something, and we've seen him make moves regularly. So I believe if something was there, he would have found it. And I also think if they would have traded for DeJounte Murray, I think that the Lakers would have made other moves too. Because at that point, it's like, okay, we got the guy we wanted. Let's now push our chips in. But when you miss out on DeJounte Murray, it's like, what trade, what move, who are you going to get that's really going to have that big of an impact and turn the season around? You want your best case scenario would have been to get somebody like a Spencer Dinwiddie. But to trade for Spencer, you're probably trading D'Lo and picks. The Lakers were trying to trade for Spencer Dinwiddie. And now the Lakers are going to be able to get him for free. And on such a low risk, high reward type of move, type of play. Because he's going to be signing for a vet minimum contract. So if it works out, beautiful. And again, this is a guy that is a real starting level talent. This is a guy that is more than capable of making a real impact. Now, I'm not saying Lakers just signed Spencer Dinwiddie and all of a sudden they are the best team in the league or they're a championship contender or anything, but this is a real piece. Like, this is a guy that many people thought would be an upgrade even over D'Lo before D'Lo's recent stretch. So, and this is a guy that's been on the Lakers' radar for some time. And now you get to add him for free. Like, that's massive. So, again, this current Brooklyn run is not like super noteworthy. He's averaging 13 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, and half a block, which that sounds great. But if you look at his like efficiency, it's not good at all. He's shooting 78% from the foul line. He's shooting 48% from 2-point range, which that isn't bad. And then from 3-point range, he's shooting 32%, which that's not good. But again, this is a guy that, I mean, there were literal reports that he was just showing up simply to just get a paycheck. So if we're going under that assumption, I don't know how much you could put into his stats there. But if you get the Dallas stint, right, he averaged 34 minutes, gave you 40.5% from 3-point range, 50% from 2-point range, and 17.5 points. Like, that's perfect. 17, 5, and 4. If you could get, and I'm not even saying he has to get that, but if he could even be, say, let's say if he could just average what he was averaging in Brooklyn, this stint right now currently, which is 13, 4, and 6, but on better efficiency, that's fine. Right? Like, seriously, if you told me, oh, you're adding a 13 and 6 guy, and if he's assuming he's shooting, 38% from 3 rather than 32%, which he's very capable of doing. If he could just give us 13-6 in a solid, significant role as like your fifth guy, that's huge, right? Night in and night out. And of course he's gonna have those nights where he goes and gives you 20, or he has those nights where he goes and gives you, 18, 19, whatever. So it just gives the Lakers another guy who has a little more athleticism. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not saying he's, out there like Russell Westbrook or whatever as far as like athleticism goes, but he is a guy that is more athletic than both D'Lo and Austin Reeves. He's a guy that has had good defensive seasons, right? This season, again, if you look up his defensive rating, he's a 120, which that isn't good. That's four points worse than league average. But he has had good seasons where he's actually been very good defensively. So like 2020, 2021, he was a 112. 2021, 2022, a 115. Right? So again, that's better than league average. If he could be better than league average, which league average is 116.5 this season. So if he could be, say, 115, he'd be like our fourth best defensive player behind Anthony Davis, Jared Vanderbilt, and Cam Reddish. I'm okay with it, right? Because just what he can provide, the impact he can have. And I do think that he's a guy that can actually be a bit of a difference maker. Not saying he's a difference maker to the point where Lakers are, that means they're lock him in for the championship. But again, don't be surprised what a guy that can average 17-6 can provide to this team where he's going to be like the fourth option. And look, he was excellent alongside Luka. Imagine what it'll be alongside LeBron. He's also a guy that's played and is familiar with D'Lo. Imagine what that looks like. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel about Spencer Dinwiddie? Do you like the idea of bringing Dinwiddie in? Do you think no? Go get somebody else. Do you think he'll have a real impact, or do you think like, nah, he'll just be, another guy? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.